everything is out there. That's good. Cool.
So we're going to come in to sit, and as we come in to sit, we're going to bring one hand on top of each other onto the chest, onto the heart center. And today in your practice, I'd really like you to think about 80%, yeah? So not to think, I've got to do 100%, I've got to remember what the name of the posture is and exactly what it should look like and all of that sort of stuff. I just want you to think, yeah, 80% and just let the other 20% happen. So there's a little bit of room for the body to have a play in the posture, yeah? So bringing the hands onto the heart and letting the shoulders relax, letting the breath come in and the breath go out, and really letting this warmth of the hands rest on the chest and let the heart center open. So for a lot of us during the week, you know, we might have been like this, sitting over a desk. If we can come to this and think about just opening out through here and having a little bit of warmth here to just help the muscles relax and soften, and you know, that's going to pay dividends. It might feel really uncomfortable to sit like this for a while. The hips might be tight, the spine might feel creaky. If you prefer, of course you can lie down, but sitting is good because of the positioning of the head on top of the spine. I'm going to begin today with Unedited as a chant, okay? It's called the perfect prayer. I'm going to give you the translation afterwards, yeah, so bear with me. Om Purnamidam Purnamidam Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So the translation is, this is perfect, that is perfect, perfect comes from perfect. Take perfect from perfect, and what remains is perfect. Peace and peace and peace. So however your body moves today is perfect for today. Okay, long-winded way of getting there. Brings us back to that 80%. Just go with it today. So up into all fours. Let's come straight into cat and cow pose. Bringing the hands underneath the knees. Hands underneath the knees, hands underneath the shoulders, knees are underneath the hips. Have a lightness in the hand. Think of, you know, when the cat jumps, when it's making its bed, how it's really nice and light through the joints, so you're not forced, you're not pushed. And then we're going to come into cat and cow pose. And let the body move as much as you feel it needs to. So you're not forcing it into a stretch this morning. You're going to release down through the tailbone. Simply let the spine move as it wants to. Let the crown of the head go. Let the neck lengthen. You're not looking to push into the hands to overextend in the arms and stretch them. You're looking to think of softness in the elbows and opening out from the center of the muscle. Come forward with the chest, forward with the heart. Let the shoulder blades ease back and back into the spine. Let the tail tip up, yeah? And then release back down into your cat pose. So the whole time you're thinking of the shoulder blades sliding over the ribs. And then come forward, and as you come forward through the breastbone, you're letting the shoulder blades ease down. So you're not pulling or pushing them, think of them sliding, moving gently over, gliding, tail releases downwards. And then come forward with the chest, forward with the heart, easing the shoulder blades back. Good, then come back into all fours. Let's come forward with the right foot this morning. Strong into the foot, lift the toes, feel that movement down into the heel, back through the foot, yeah? And then let the toes come down. So then you feel a little bit more into the ball of the foot. Curl the back toes under, extend away through the heel. So you're opening the knee. You're thinking about opening the back of the knee, lengthening the thigh. Bring the knee back down to the ground. Let the breath come in. Stand strong into the feet. Standing in the foot, up you come with the spine. Breathe out, fold forward. Extend all the way back through the right foot. Even though it feels like the sun salutation, we're not quite going there yet. Bring the right knee down to the ground. Go out through the right arm now and bring the right hand through the space on the left. Rest down into that upper arm. Let the head rest into the ground if it can. Yeah? If it doesn't and that feels too much, don't worry about it. Don't do it. Good. And up you come into all fours. Let's do that with the left foot now. So the left foot comes forward. You're going to lift the toes to wake up the sole of the foot. Let the toe come down to the ground. Let the breath come in. Go into the heel. So you go back into the thigh, up through the spine. Breathe out, fold. Go back through the left leg all the way back, breathing in, breathing out. Bring the knee down to the ground. Come up now with the left arm, bring the left hand through the space on the right. Breathing in and breathing out. Come back up into all fours. We're going to curl the toes under, come into squat pose. If squat doesn't work for you, feel free to be kneeling, yeah? So feel free, if you know you don't like squat, come back to kneel, yeah? If that would work for you. Go over the balls of the feet, yeah? Bring the hands to here. So you've got 3 variations in your squat pose. Fingertips can stay here if your balance is wobbly. Hands can come to here. If your balance is good, you're going to take hold of the middle of the right arm and ease up, and then take hold of the middle of the left arm and ease up. Release down and down through the tailbone. Bring the hands together in Namaste. If that doesn't work for you, I want you to think about growing the spine up and beyond the crown. So there is a sense of moving upwards from the belly. Yeah, breathing in and breathing out. Equally, if you're here, you could still do the same thing. Good. Now bring the hands onto the ground, as we always do. It's really good practice to come from squat into Uttanasana, but bring the hands really forward. So as you go down into the heels, you don't need to extend the legs completely to get the length into the spine. Yeah, that's the important thing. That's why we're bringing the hands forward. So you're not leaning back here and closing off the hips. You're coming forward and forward and forward. Then you could start, letting the heels go down into the ground. If you imagine that you're standing on a mossy bit of grass and the feet just ease down into the grass to find the firmness of the ground underneath you. Take a breath in, begin to go down a little more into the heels, so you come up through the back of the body to bring you into standing. And bring the hands together in Namaste. Just walk today to the front of the mat. Notice how the feet are feeling. And then as you stand into Tadasana, imagine walking on the spot, letting one heel lift and then the other heel lift. Do this really, really slowly. Let all of the muscles relax as much as they could do, yeah? So you almost feel that, your back of the body could be resting on the ground in Shavasana. And all you're doing is lifting one heel up, one heel down. Soften the thighs, breathing in and breathing out. And then let both of the heels rest down into the ground. Lift the toes again. And as you lift the toes, feel that you can spread out into the little toe and into the big toe. And then let the toes come down. Take a breath in, lift up through the arms. Keep the elbows soft. We're not going to overextend into a huge back arch. You're thinking of a separation, a natural separation in the waist. So from the waist upwards, the spine extends up. From the waist downwards, the feet gather down towards the ground. Breathe out, fold forward. Let the pelvis roll over the thighs. Bring the hands onto the shins and extend forward, sending the front of the pelvis back. Breathe out, release back down, step back with the left foot. Heels lifting up, heel, back heel lifting up, front heel connecting down. So your pelvis is suspended, so you can relax a little more into the hips. Bring the back knee down, round the spine, bring the arms forward, lift up through the chest, through the heart, the whole time rooting into the toes. Bring the hands forward either side. As you step back, if you want to extend the leg up into the air, feel free. If not, bring the foot down to the ground. Yeah, just see how it feels for you this morning. Let's stay with lifting one heel up, one heel down. So the movement in dog pose is still fluid. Let the knees bend, come back into child's pose, breathe, relax these thighs, yeah? Let's bring both of the hands over to the left. Let the right hand come on top of the left. And normally I say here, you know, ease the hip back. I don't want you to do that today. I just want you to feel an openness in the side of the body. That's all. And then bring both hands over. Left hand comes on top of right. And again, relax the thighs. Breathing in and breathing out. Just notice the difference in the sides of the body. Bring the hands forward, let the hands extend forward, round your spine into cat pose. Bring your chest and your heart forward into cobra. Keep the glutes relaxed. Keep that softness there. Curl the toes under, you're going to roll over the feet, up you come. Breathing in and breathing out. Pelvis is light and it wants to float upwards. Breathing in and breathing out. No pushing in the hands or in the feet. They rest on the ground. Bend the knees, come down into all fours. Come forward with the left foot. Go back through the right heel to open the knee, to extend the thigh, but then bring the knee down. Round the spine, tail releases down, spine flies up. Bring the fingertips forward, into your forward bend, hands on the shins and extend. Think about where the front of the pelvis is going. If it's still here, yeah, if it wants to come forward, you're going to get a little curve in the spine. So just try playing with sending that pubis bone back. Fingertips release down, breath comes in, and the arms come up. Hands come together in Namaste. Breath comes in, the arms come up. Breathe out, fold. Hands on the shins and extend. Breathe out, fold. Back with the right foot. Right knee down. Tail lengthens down, spine rounds. Arms open outwards. Hands come forward either side of the front foot. You can come up with the leg or not, as what is best for your body this morning. Bend your knees, come back into child's pose, breathing in and breathing out. Bring both hands over to the left. No, beg my pardon, over to the right. Rest and breathe. Bring both hands over to the left. We're bringing the right hand on top of the left. Resting and breathing. Bring the hands forward, extend them forward. Let the heart come down towards the ground for a moment. Round the spine now, so the heart moves into the back of the body. Bring the chest and now the heart forward, relaxing the thighs, relaxing the hips, breathing in and breathing out. Curl the toes under, up and over the feet into dog pose. Remember the lightness in the pelvis. Try not to push in the hands to keep you here. Feel that you could relax and soften the elbows The hands on the ground rather than pushing into the ground. Bend your knees, come down into all fours, come forward with the right foot, go away through the left leg. Bring the knee down, round the spine. Start going down and away through the tailbone, but then you're going to lift the spine upwards to go out through the arms. Bring the fingertips forward, come into forward bend, hands on the shins, extend and lengthen. Breathe out, release back down, let the breath come in, and the arms come all the way up. Bring the hands together in Namaste. For a couple of moments, let's come back into this breath. Breathing in as we lift up through the arms. Breathing out as you bring the hands down in front of the face. So a couple of cycles of this breath. Breathing in, lifting up through the arms. Breathing out, letting the hands come down in front of the face. And as you're standing, just notice how it's feeling through the rest of the body. You know, where there's any tightness, where the mind might go to first, yeah? So for me, for example, with my thighs. So think about how you could release and soften in this area. So if I think, for example, of going into the centre of the thigh and softening outwards and relaxing outwards, suddenly I can sink down a little more into my feet, and then coming up, there's a little bit more awareness through here and through the pelvis. So it doesn't mean that I've lost any connection, engagement, any strength in the muscles. I've just eased the tension. Next time we're going to go out through the arms, lengthen away through the fingers. Bring the left elbow on top of the right as you come around with the arms, and where you can, right hand into the left palm. If you can't, don't worry about it. Really, I can't say it enough today. You're checking in with how it feels. Left elbow on top of right. You can practice it like that, or you can come to this, yeah? Let the knees move forward. So the thighs can extend and the tail can release down. If you want to, you can bring the right leg over the left. Big toe stays on the ground to begin with. Still feeling that resting down of the tail. If the balance is good and you're familiar with the pose, the right foot can become behind the left calf. Breathing in and breathing out. You're going to go out through the arms now, open out through the wings, span, broaden, 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 broaden. Bring the arms up above the head. Bring the hands together in Namaste. Unfurl the feet. Come back to that breath. Notice how that's making you feel across the back, across the lower back especially, where you've opened the sacrum a little bit more by that movement in the legs if you went for that. And then as you go out through the arms, you're going to bring the right elbow on top of the left. Left hand into right palm, lengthens up through the fingertips. Now relax the knees, let them move forward. Bring your awareness down into the ball of your foot and into the heel of the foot. Feel balanced on those points. Right elbows on top. Remember, you can go for this or you can go for this if that feels more comfortable. Left leg comes over right. That might be the posture. Yeah, this might still be the posture. Back of the foot comes on, if it wants to the back of the calf. Breathing in and breathing out. Your tail feathers releasing down. Your wings coming around the front of your body. Equal pose, Garudasana. And then from here, unfurl. So you're really, if you're balanced, you're really rooted in the right foot. Go up through the arms. Bring the hands together in Namaste. And then unfurl the feet. Good. We're going to come back to Surya Namaskar. Breath comes in, extending up now. Noticing how your wings are, breathing out, coming forward. Hands on the shins, lengthen, breathe out, release down. Step out with the left foot. Again in the lunge pose, feeling that pelvis really balanced on the thighs. Back knee comes down, round. Up you come. Down through the tail, out through the chest. Maybe there's a little bit more movement through the shoulders after Garudasana. Hands either side of the front foot. Up with the leg if you want to. Bring the foot down to the ground. You can see that leg doesn't need to come all the way up. Knees soften. Joints soften. Doesn't mean they're going to lose their integrity. Just means they're not overextended. Bend the knees, come back into child's pose, breathe. Extend the arms forward, keep the arms low, keep the elbows on the ground now, the hands on the ground. Notice how that makes you feel in the shoulders. Round spine, up into cat pose, the arms might move back a little bit as you do that. Come forward with the chest, forward with the heart. Think about that unfurling fern in the morning, how it's tightly bound and then its prongs open out as it unfurls. Curl the toes under, roll over the feet, come up into dog pose, breathe. Relax, relax, relax in the dog. Let the knees bend, come down into all fours, come forward with the left foot. Let's go away again through the right heel. So we're opening the right knee and then bringing it down. Round the spine, bring the arms forward, firm in that front foot, up through the chest, up through the heart. So you've got an openness through this front hip. Fingers forward, sends the weight down into the foot so that as you come up, you're more rooted in there. Hands onto the shins and extends. Breathe out, releases back down. Breath comes in, up you come. Bring the hands together in Namaste. Breath in. Breathe in and out. Stay here for a moment. There's a softness in the arms here. Yep, the elbows are relaxed. The tail releases down. And that gives me the balance to let the spine, the upper spine, move a little bit more. And then as I breathe out, the tail wants to extend back. Brings me into Uttanasana. Hands on the shins, extend the spine forward. Breathe out, release back down. Step back with the right foot. Right knee comes down, round the spine. Up through the chest, up through the heart. Keep everything soft and relaxed. Bring the hands forward. Step back, lift the leg, whatever you feel is needed. Breathing in and breathing out. Let the knees bend, come back into child's pose. And again, just extend the arms a little bit forward to prepare for cobra. Let the elbows ease into the ground, let the hands ease to the ground. The bum's going to lift away from the heels, but still feel you could extend the tailbone back so you find a little more length in the lumbar. And then with that, you might find a little bit more space in the armpits and in the muscles over the spine. Then from here, lift up, and the hands might slide back a little bit. Bring the breastbone forward to come into cobra. Breathing in and breathing out. Curl the toes under. Come up into downward dog pose. Breathing in and breathing out. Let the knees bend. Come down into all fours. Forward with the right foot. Go back through the left heel to open the knee. Strong in the front foot in the sense that the foot feels rooted. It's not heavy, but it's rooted. That knee comes down, round the spine, up through the chest, through the heart, down through the tail. Bring the fingers forward, step into forward bend, hands on the shins and extend. Breathe out, release back down, let the breath come in. And up you come with your arms. Bring the hands together in Namaste. Let's step back with the left foot. Let the right knee bend so you could come into Warrior One. And as you come into Warrior One, I said I wasn't going to put the labels on the postures today, never mind. Lift up and up and up. So the hands feel like they're lifting the spine up and off of the pelvis as you come up. Let the elbows relax, but have a little rotation in the elbows. So it's not going to wing out. You're going to bring this elbow forward. So from the side, it's going to look like that. Yeah, it's not going to go like that. It's going to look like that. So that's going to give you some space through the shoulders. Feet on the ground. Tail releasing down. That's going to give you that lift. Yeah, it's like that balancing. As you go into the tail, the spine can lift. Think about as well what's going on here. Can you let this hip release downwards towards the ground? Let the sitting bone release down. Breathe out, bring the spine forward, extending through the heart, bringing the arms down. Letting the breath come in and the arms coming up. Breathe out, come forward again. Watch the lumbar, that there's no pushing in the lumbar. And then go again into the foot to lift the spine. Bring the hands around behind you, bring them onto the sacrum. Lift the back heel, you're going to bring the foot in a little bit and then go back into the heel so that you're bringing your legs into Uttanasana. Come up again through the arms. Breathe out. Go out through the arms, just as you did in Garudasana and with that breath work. So you feel you could open through the front of the body by moving the shoulder blades back into the spine. Let the chest and the heart come forward. Bring the right hand down towards the shin. Rotate out through the rib cage. So here moves. And as you do that, there's a little bit of movement here through the thighs moving away from each other. Lift up with the arm. Now, because I've got a little bend here as well, I'm not going to come down too far because I don't want to lose the space here. Yeah? Breathing in and breathing out. Let the arm come down. Brings the spine back to the center. As you breathe in, you're going to lift up through the arm. But notice, without sort of putting the head or the neck under pressure, where this arm is going. Very often, we have an idea of what the posture looks like and we want to push back through the arm. Think about going up through the arm to keep the lightness here. Yeah, so you're not pushing or overdoing. Bring the arm down. That's going to give you more space here than pushing back. Breath comes in, lift up through the spine. Come on to the back of the foot. Sorry, lift the back heel. Breathe out. Let the pelvis roll over the thigh. Bring you into Warrior Three. Now, if the balance isn't there this morning, of course, the fingertips come onto the ground. But you're going to go back through that left foot. Yeah, you're not thinking up, you're thinking back. Then bring the fingertips down to the ground and let the left foot come down. Bend both the knees, come back into squat pose. So you're in the balls of the feet once more. Bring the hands together in Namaste, if you can, yeah? The other thing I want you to think about is what's happening here in the pelvis, yeah? If we're really pushing, yeah, you get that sort of movement, yeah? I want you to think about the lift up through the spine, but then the movement back of the pubis bone. So think of the front of the pelvis trying to move to the back of the pelvis, because then that's going to spread you. And very often we want that spread and we think we're going to get it by pushing back through the asana, yeah? When really we've got to think about how we're using our pelvis. It's quite a bit of anatomy for a Saturday morning, isn't it? Bring the hands down to the ground and step back into downward dog pose, breathing in and breathing out. And hopefully that squat's just made you feel the pelvis a little bit more. Let's walk the feet forward to bring you into your forward bend. And again, the goal isn't to get the hands on the feet, yeah? The goal is to move the spine forward and down. Let the breath come in and the arms come up. Bring the hands together in Namaste. Step back with the right foot. So you're going to come in with that bent left knee into Warrior One. Lift the heart up. Let the tail root down, breathing in and breathing out. Relax and soften in the upper body. Breathe out, forward. Into the feet to lift the spine. And forward. As you come up, don't think about doing with the arms. Think about lifting the spine up. Think about coming in here to lift the spine up rather than thinking you've got to overextend in the arms to get there, yeah? Bring the hands around onto the sacrum. Lift the back heel. Oops. And come forward a little bit with that back foot. Then bring the heel into the ground so you can come into Uttanasana again. As you're going up through the arms, you're going to go out through the elbows. Bring the hands onto the sacrum. Come forward with the chest, forward with the heart. Let the left hand come down onto the shin. Again, you don't need to come too far forward. You don't want to close the space in the front of the hip. Rotate through the ribs. Okay, so here's what I mean about the arm. When you're coming up with the arm, don't think you've got to do that with it, because that's pushing back. You come to here and think about lifting up, that's going to broaden you more through the rib cage. It'll be so much better for your spine, for your shoulder, yeah? Breathe out, down you come. Breathe in, up you come. Come back to how your feet are supporting your legs. Keep the movement of the spine going. Good, now come up with both arms. Lift the back heel again. You're going to let the pelvis roll over the thigh, go back through the foot. Breathing in and breathing out. And when you're ready, fingertips down to the ground. Notice how it feels different on each side. Bring the right foot down, bend the knees again, come back into that squat pose. Just feel it. I'm not going to give you any instruction here. Breathing in and breathing out. Bring the hands down onto the ground and step back into dog pose. Where's the dog pose now? Yeah, has there been a change in the arms? Could you bed the little finger and the thumb more and more into the ground? And can you feel that that connects you back into the shoulders? Bend the knees, rest back in child's pose. You're going to go forward and down onto the elbows. So you come into all fours, your hands rooted, your elbows rooted. You're going to extend back through the right foot, back through the left foot, and bring the breastbone forward. So the hands and the elbows are rooted into the ground to support you, not to push you up. Yeah? Breathing in and breathing out. The heels lift and extend up. And it's the connection of the thighs into the hips, into the spine, of the arms into the shoulders, into the spine, that is waking up what we term as the core. Yeah, it's the front of the spine. Release the knees down, bring the front of the feet onto the ground, lift the spine forward, breathing in and breathing out. Relax the knees a little to lift the spine, walk the feet in. So you're bringing the knees underneath the hips, underneath the pelvis. Now draw the tail back to release back into child's pose, but try to keep the arms where they are for the moment. They're not stuck rigidly there, but you're going to come back onto them, so you don't want to lose too much of that contact. Up you come with the spine, so that sends the weight into the arms. Bring the knees a little more forward, curl the toes under. This time, if you can, up into your elbow dog. Breathing in and breathing out. And don't lose the contact through the thumb and the little finger, because that's going to give you that balance, yeah? Come out of it when you're ready to. And then all of us come down and rest in child's pose, breathing in and breathing out. Lift up through the crown of the head to bring you into kneeling, just for a moment. If kneeling isn't for you, then you come to sit on your bottom. Okay, from here, we're going to come over onto the right bottom, and then could you bring your right foot to the inside of your left thigh, but keep that movement back there through the foot, yeah? Then what you can do is, if you're here, fabulous. If you're there, okay, I want you to extend that leg out. Purely because, I mean, I know I'm saying in one breath, you know, explore the body, don't overdo. But that movement gives a very uncomfortable rotation through the thigh bone. This movement keeps the thigh in a good place. Yeah, so that is a sort of health and safety thing. So if you're here, could you work towards, and again, it's not a push, it's feeling a little bit more weight, yeah? So just bring the heel of the hand into the board, into the sole of the foot. So you can release through that foot a little bit more. Okay? And then from here, you're going to bring the hands onto the knees and gather the thighs back into the hips, which will lift the spine. If you're here, you can just do it with the one side. It'd be hard to get a bit of purchase on the outstretched leg, but you'll get the feeling through the side, and then when we do it on the other side, you'll feel it as well. Yeah. Then from here, you're going to bring the left hand over to the right knee and the right hand behind you. Don't think of it as a twist though. Think of coming up through the crown of the head. Yeah? Think of lifting up through the crown of the head, then lifting the ribs off and away from the hips, but rooting the tailbone down. Breathe. So I'm just going to extend my leg out if you're doing it in that way. Yep, you can still do the same movement. Come back to the centre, and then we're all going to extend the left leg out. Take a breath in, up you come with the spine. Breathe out, let the spine come forward. Bring the hands down onto the ground to support the arms coming up into the top of the spine to give you a little bit more support in the fold. Back of the left heel comes into the ground, not to over-engage, but it acts like, I always want to say doorstop, it acts like a bum on the ground to root the thigh where it needs to be, yeah? If the foot's floppy, what's going to happen is you're going to start overusing the thigh to bring the thigh. There I'm bringing the thigh back, I'm not using, that's all coming from the thigh, yeah? If I go away through the heel and I root the back of the heel into the ground, I'm not doing anything with my thigh now, yeah? And then come up through the spine. Bring the left foot across, go into the little toes. Same way you just went into the back of the heel, you go down into the little toes to take it off the thighs again. Fingertips come out to the side. You can see my feet aren't in close to my body. There's a nice lot of space. Come over to the left. Bring the right foot around behind you. Front of the foot goes onto the ground. Left foot comes in. Yeah? If that works for you. You might feel as well that there needs to be a lifting up of the pelvis to just realign and bring you down so you feel much more in your base, you feel much more balanced on your sitting bones. Equally, you come back to this if it's really uncomfortable on the hip or if the foot hasn't got that turnout that we looked at. Yeah? Bring the hands onto the knees, gather the thighs back. So it sends the spine up. Relax the shoulders, breathing in and breathing out. Keeping that lift that it's given you. Bring the right hand to the left knee, left hand around behind you. So again, you're not focusing on where can I get to in the twist, but you're going to focus on lifting up. Yeah, because that gives you a little bit of surprise lifting up when you're twisting, because it makes more space in your spine, which is going to give you more movement. If you think of a really tight, short spring that's been really condensed, you haven't got a lot of movement. When you stretch out that spine, when you create more space, it can boom, 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 like really move and shift. And then also by lifting up, you're not so heavy on the base and it just feels nicer, especially if the old hips are tight. Come back to the center. Now extend out through the leg. Yeah, find the back of the heel. Up you come through the spine. Breathe out. Fold, 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 fold. Bring the hands onto the ground. Go forward through the spine. Breathing in and breathing out. So again, it's not a big forward fold. Doesn't need to be, but it can be. Come up through the crown of the head, bring the fingertips out to the side. Let that right foot come across, go down deep into the little toes. Yeah. So it's like you've got something to rest your legs on. Fingertips come out, come up through the spine. So again, you've got this lifting, this movement up, but then the shoulders just sit on the spine. Bring the fingertips forward, 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 forward. So from the side, the movement is forward, 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 forward. Bring the hands onto the ground. Breathing in and breathing out. Lift up through the crown as you come up. Bring the fingertips around behind you. Feel you can come more and more into the back of the pelvis. Lift up from here. Let the front of the pelvis rest back. You know, you're not gripping muscles here. Into the little toes. Feel the thighs can extend away through the knees. And then go up and away through the legs. Bring the hands out a little bit more. Bend the knees, go into the heels, into the hands to bring your hips back and then plant yourself onto the ground. Up you come through the crown of the head. Then bring the legs back in towards each other. So it's like you're sweeping in, and it just really wakes up the adductors. Okay? You're going to bend the right knee, but notice how the toes are still up, the foot's not on the ground. Take hold of the right big toe with the left hand, lift up and away through the foot. Again, the knee can be bent, but you're standing through the foot, yeah? If I'm not doing anything with the foot, see how I'm kind of beginning to slump. The minute I start going into the foot, it changes what's going on in the leg, and then it changes what's going on here, which lifts the spine, brings me more into this arm. Fingertips can be on the ground, or you can bring the arm out, okay? In essence, we're practicing reverse Uttanasana, yeah? Most postures in yoga, very much the same, but just done in a different way, from a different angle, from a different perspective. You could, if you wanted to, change hands, bring the right hand onto the foot, come away through the spine, bring the left arm out, yeah? And again, that's that Uttanasana pose. Come back to the centre, relax the heel. And it's quite a good way of practicing it because it will stop you pushing in the free arm, yeah? Bring the left heel in. Right hand holds the left foot, left hand can come behind you, go away, extend away through the foot, but the knee can still be bent. And then if you want to, you could bring the arm up and off of the ground, and that's going to bring you into a twist. Go out through the fingers, so you'll get some space between the shoulder blades. And then let the hand come around, take hold of the left big toe, and then maybe even come out and away through here. Bring the hand down to the ground, relax the foot down. Bring the fingertips behind you, let them come just underneath the bottom, rest into the heels of the hands. Sitting bones drop down into the ground. Let the thighs relax. Let the backs of the heels support the whole of the legs. Rather than pushing down into the hands, feel that you can come up through the arms into the shoulder sockets, and does that lift your spine tiniest little bit more. Then from here, come up onto the fingertips to start bringing the spine forward. Let the fingertips come forward, let the spine ease over to bring you into forward bend. And then lift up through the crown of the head. Bring the soles of the feet together in Baddha Konasana. Really find that meeting point of the balls of the feet together, of the heels together. Bring the hands onto the feet and again come forward with the spine. Just notice what the pelvis wants to do. Straight away my pelvis wants to walk back because my spine doesn't feel it's where it needs to be. So I can walk my pelvis back, or I can do that little lift again. And that's just given my pelvis a little bit more movement. It's brought me more onto the sitting bones so my spine can come forward. It should feel like it's a bit less effort. Come up through the crown, go away through the feet. Now you're going to walk forward again on your bottom. And this is brilliant to get you in to your bum heels. I haven't called them that for ages, your bum heels. Let your knees bend and come down onto the spine. Let the legs come up as you go down, because it's like counterbalance. And then bring the feet onto the ground. Let the heels, let the balls of the feet rest down. Let the body feel like it's going to go into Shavasana now, even though it's not. Let there be that, oh, that feels good, yeah. Bring the arms a little bit away from the body. Yeah, I'm guessing for most of us our shoulders are tight, yeah? So it's more comfortable to bring the arms away a little bit. Lift the hands so that this part of the wrist and just the top part of the heel of the hand goes into the ground. That might feel like hard work. It always makes my arms feel a bit twitchy, yeah, because it's hard work and it's releasing something out. But can you let the shoulder blades, by that movement, go more into the ground so the chest and the heart lifts up, yeah? If I'm not doing anything with my arms, I'm here. If I'm engaging my arms, I'm not over tensing, yeah? I'm not like I'm going to fall over and pushing. And then you're going to bring the fingertips down, which will soften the arms a little bit more. But you've still got this lift in the spine. Standing to the feet, it's not a bigger lift, it's not as big a lift as when we go into the backs of the arms, by the way. Standing to the feet, let the thighs move forward. Go a little more into the feet. So now you begin to shift the body back towards the wall behind you, and now you're going more and more onto the shoulder blades. And you could now, if you wanted to, go down a little bit more into that place, into the wrist, letting the fingers come down onto the ground, and that might shift you more and more onto the backs of the arms. Now the spine's in a different position. Keep going into the feet. Relax your glutes. The feet are on the ground in the same way the back of the heel was on the ground, so you can rest the thighs and the muscles. The bones have got this. Gaze is straight up to the ceiling so the throat is long. Breathing in and breathing out. Now relax the shoulders. I'm not worried if the wrists come away from the ground. Relax the thighs, relax the glutes. Breathing in and breathing out. So you're perched here. Then relax the glutes some more. You know, you're imagining from the knees to the shoulders as a hammock. Bring the hands underneath, one on top of each other, so that as you come down, you're going to bring the sacrum onto the hands. Now, you do need to position the hands carefully so they don't feel squashed. You're going to extend away through your right leg and extend away through your left leg. So your pelvis is a tiny bit higher. Yeah, it's a tiny bit off the ground. If you're, at home and you've got a blanket that you're going to use for Shavasana, you could quickly whip it underneath your pelvis if your hands are beginning to feel a little bit squashed. But what we're doing here is we're lifting the pelvis to extend the hip flexor to help lengthen the psoas muscle. Yep, so psoas muscle connects the legs into the spine, gets very tight, and is a real primary cause of lower backache. And you can practice this at any time of the day. You can take it a bit higher if you've got a yoga block. You could bring it a bit higher, but again, you don't want to go too high so it feels forceful. And you might feel, oh, it's a little fizzing going on in the hip flexor. You know, it's a good practice if you're doing anything like couch to 5K. Lots of people are at the moment. It's just a good practice to keep the hip flexors and the spine, the lower spine, lengthened. Yeah. Contraction means they're going to pull your body into a different shape. So to take the hands away, bend the knees, come up into a tiny little bridge and release it down. And then just notice how it feels to extend away through the heels. Let the hands rest. Let the arms go where they want to. And again, can you use the backs of the heels to come into the ground so you don't need to hold your thighs as you're breathing in, you're breathing out. Nothing worse than a tight thigh. So letting your breath come in, breath go out, letting the whole of the body relax. From here now, gently wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes to bring awareness back into your body, into the space around you. And when you feel ready to roll over onto your right side, bring your left hand down in front of your chest, lengthen away through your left leg, and gently bring yourself up to sit. Let's finish as we started. Bring one hand on top of each other, onto the chest, onto the heart, to thank your body for its practice this morning. Send love and blessings out into the world. Have yourselves a fab Saturday, and namaste.